Well, thank you. And my name is Susan Prescott, and I'm Professor of Planetary Health at the University of Western Australia with a dual appointment as Director of Planetary Health at the Nova Institute for Health in Baltimore. It's such an honour to be part of the Bioneers discussion on nurturing connected consciousness and to be co-creating with all of you. I'm a paediatrician and an immunologist, and I've worked in the health sector for over 30 years. For the last 12 years, I've been leading a global planetary health network exploring ecological relationships across all systems and at all scales, from the foundational microbes, which are vital to all ecosystems, to the complex web of life that collectively contributes to the health of planetary systems. It also includes our social and cultural ecology, the spirituality, worldviews, and values that define our relationships with nature, with others, and with our own inner capacity. I'm also an artist, as you may have noticed, and a large part of my work is to encourage more inspirational narratives that integrate intellectual and heart-centered approaches. And I'll talk more about promoting these approaches through the Constellation Project in a moment. Like the others here, this is my life, not my career, and I do this with the sheer joy of wanting to connect to the universe around me and within me and make a real difference. But first, we need to ground this in our challenges and define what we mean by planetary health. Human disruptions to natural systems are directly damaging to all life, including our own. Rising rates of disease, distress, and despair are inextricably linked to ecosystems disruption at all scales, including the unhealthy social, economic, and political ecosystems driving this. Our personal, physical, emotional, and spiritual health cannot be separated from the physical, emotional, and spiritual health of our societies and our attitudes towards nature. In most societies, there's been a progressive shift towards consumerism and value systems that promote extrinsic life goals like material wealth, power, fame, and status, at the expense of more meaningful intrinsic life goals like personal growth, learning, loving, giving, and caring, which also bring happiness and meaning. This has been associated with major social trends towards greed, narcissism, antisocial behaviour, fragmented communities, growing inequalities, disconnection from nature, unhappiness, and physical and mental ill health. As a paediatrician, my work has focused on how early physical and emotional ecology affects our lifelong health, and as an immunologist, how large-scale adversity promotes inflammation at the molecular and the cellular level, as major drivers of the modern health crisis. This is why we need transgenerational approaches to health at all scales, and deeper structural changes in how we live, with mounting calls for a great transition or a great turning. And this is the goal of the growing planetary health movement, which is being led through the Planetary Health Alliance, a growing consortium of over 400 universities and organisations. And the Alliance defines planetary health as a solutions-oriented, transdisciplinary field and, central to our purpose today, a social movement, essentially focused on addressing the human impact of health on all life on Earth, including our own. It requires deep understanding of complex interdependence and a kinder, compassionate, integrated vision that moves beyond the siloed thinking that hampers progress. Because ultimately we are dealing with a relationship crisis between humans and nature. Solutions must therefore address the worldviews, ethics, and values which elevate profit and power over people and planet, and extractive mindsets as root causes of social and ecological injustice. Gus Speth famously described the top environmental problems as selfishness, greed, and apathy, and that to deal with those we need a spiritual and cultural transformation. And the Constellation Project was created to address this and help inspire a much needed shift in planetary consciousness. It was founded in 2018 by award-winning author Terry Tempest Williams and Sam Meyer, director of the PHA, and I've been privileged to lead the project since 2022. We provide a visionary space to weave new stories and emergent ways of being through deeper spiritual relationships with ourselves, others, and the natural world, because emotional connections have greater power to inspire change than logic alone. By networking communities of diverse voices and traditions, we seek to contribute to more ethical, earth-based spirituality And we do this through a range of scholarly activities, artistic works, contemplative practices, and regular conversations. In essence, we seek to connect community, co-create deeper narratives, and communicate these to influence both academic discourse and social movements. We believe that efforts like this are a vital part of a great awakening that is needed to accelerate cultural change. However, this requires both awareness and the skills for more enlightened approaches. And I'll briefly touch on the main themes underpinning our efforts to address this. Our first and central theme is co-creation, which is about changing the story. Narratives shape our reality and have the power to shift worldviews, values, attitudes, and behaviours for individual, collective, and systems change. Yes, we are influenced by shared stories, but we also co-create them, and we don't use that power enough consciously or constructively. It's not enough to just focus on what is wrong. We also need to create appealing new stories for tangible choices. This might seem obvious, but we still see so much energy focused more on destroying the old than building the new. Fear and polycrisis narratives can be counterproductive and are certainly undermining mental health, especially in young people. It's better to invest our passion in forward thinking, to extend horizons, imagine something new, and start living in it. Optimistic narratives improve social cohesion, engagement, and collaborative action. The second theme is consciousness and inner development, diving deeper into our own self-awareness and our inner resources. Because meaningful ethical sustainability requires wisdom, love, respect, and hope, resources that are only limited by our attitudes and beliefs. When we are empowered and engaged with purpose, we cope better with challenges and add to collective capacity for change. This is magnified in supportive environments, which is why community development is so important to us. Next, we have convergence and enriching worldviews through diverse perspectives. We encourage convergence of scientific discovery and spiritual knowledge for expanded worldviews that are enriched by Indigenous and diverse faith perspectives. In an era of political polarisation and culture wars, we nurture inclusiveness, harmonise positive goals, and seek common universal values. Which brings us to connectedness and promoting a universal sense of belonging, coherence, and unity of awareness. By encouraging deeper, meaningful relationships with nature and with others, we can promote compassion, care, a sense of universal belonging that is enhanced by experiential awareness of interdependence with all life. Awe and wonder inspire emotional connections, which encourage co-beneficial solutions that align with nature. Lastly, but certainly not least to me as an artist, is the imagination and creativity needed to create new paradigms. Artistic expression enhances intercultural and intergenerational learning and deepens the narratives and emotional connections that inspire change by integrating intellectual and heart-centered approaches. I've distilled these themes to tell a story, but they are clearly interwoven. We also feel that spirituality is integral to planetary health rather than a side issue, and that by normalising inclusion of deeper universal values in all discussions, we can accelerate change. We are just one of many groups seeking to contribute to deeper social change, and by creating wonderful spaces like this at Bioneers, we can connect our communities to magnify and accelerate this in new ways. So I want to end on a more personal note of joy, gratitude, and love. Love is at the centre of everything. It empowers us in ways we never thought possible. As a friend reminded me last week, we just need to fall in love with ourselves, with each other, and this incredible world that we live in. Of course, none of this is new. We are inherently connected to the universe, whether we are aware of it or not. But we can be so much more powerful if we are becoming consciously aware of who we really are. So thank you. I will leave it there, but I do want to invite you all to join the regular virtual campfire events that we hold on various aspects of planetary health at the Nova Institute. And please also reach out to me if you would like to be part of the Constellation Project. You can do that directly or through the Planetary Health Alliance. Thank you all once again.